So don't question me about my thing, just do your thing and be cool. Cause I know exactly whose I am, don't worry about it, homie, do you. Cause I've been rapping for a minute now. Used to walk around dead, but I'm living now. I'm just being myself, and evidently people gon' hate when you coming with a different sound. So don't question me about my thing, just do your thing and be cool. Cause I know exactly whose I am, don't worry about it, homie, do you. Cause I've been rapping for a minute now. Used to walk around dead, but I'm living now. I'm just being myself.
What's up, my tokers, jokers, and smokers? It's your man, Chef Rodney Lionheart, here back with another edition of the Daily Chronicles. Today, y'all, I've got Meghan and Eddie from Wrapped in Light LLC here. They're going to give us our, the little bit of what's going on in Niles right now. They're going to let us know, kind of how we met, obviously, but they're going to let us know what they're doing in cannabis and kind of why they're doing that. And, without any ado that can be furthered, I give you guys Meghan and Eddie. Thanks, guys, for coming back on the show here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. We had a little bit of some technical difficulties, but we're smoothing it out now. It's all good. Where everything's green. We're gonna do take 2 of this, if you will. But so, tell me a little bit about Eddie. You served in the military. You were in Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. It's Vietnam, Agent Orange, the whole kind of, you want to put us in the mindset, the perspective of what happened there, man? Like, where did you start? What did you do in the Army, and lead us till now?
Okay, what happened is back in 1971, they had a lottery draft on TV where they put numbers from 1 to 365 in a bingo ball. And they rolled it and picked a number out. And my birthday was November 24th, 1951. And my number was 51. Meaning if you received a number between 150 to 1, I left 3 weeks later, I was drafted. I spent 6 months in the States and I did a year in Vietnam. The first thing I can tell you about Vietnam is when I got off the plane, very hot, very stinky, smelly place. And I said, I'm not dying in this shithole.
Right.
I'm not dying.
I'm glad you didn't.
That's the main thing I heard over there when I first got there was, don't be the last GI to die in Vietnam. Because the war was dying down, but still, we still had fights. We still had a lot of problems. Agent Orange was a big problem in the Vietnam. I mean, the people over there didn't even like us anymore because of what we did to their country. Besides bombing the shit out of them, that Agent Orange was terrible. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to defolitize all the jungles. It didn't. All it did was roll off the jungles and kill all the ground.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to their country. And of course, America went over there and spent millions of dollars cleaning the soil. But before we got to Vietnam, Vietnam didn't have any birth defects. When the United States government left in 1975, Vietnam was #1 in birth defects of children. That tore me up to see what we did to that country.
Yeah.
Not just the fighting. I was among everyday people. I didn't hate the Vietnamese. I felt sorry for them for what we done.
Right.
And that's part of my PTSD, what we did to their families, their country. And not just the fighting aspect, is what we did to them as people. Just tore their country up and left. And I came home sick, and I didn't think I was sick. My mother knew it right away. And, they just called it battle fatigue. You got PTSD. I don't call it post-traumatic stress disorder. I call it post-traumatic stress, because a disorder to me was something that happened to me there.
Right.
And I've been that way ever since. I've been fighting PTSD for 50 years. But cannabis changed my fight. Cannabis showed me that I'll have PTSD till I die, but it goes away. Before, the pills just numb you, to the point I never left my house. People were coming and stealing money from me. I didn't care. I was a mess. I overdosed 7 times in 22 years. And the last time I overdosed, after that, something hit me. I said, I got to get clean. I met Meghan. She was my neighbor. When I first met her, we were both about the same shape. I was worse, no doubt. But we took the journey together. Then this young lady moved away
How
Went
dare
to school,
you?
became a yoga instructor, wrapped in light.
Right.
She started dragging me there because she knew she could help me by control your breathing. PTSD, if you can control your breathing, you can almost 95% get out of the situation you're in. Instead of fight or flight, I calm down and catch my breath.
Right.
Start breathing. And that was taught by her. And it took her probably a year to do that for me, but she wouldn't give up on me.
I drag him everywhere with me.
And
That's good. That's good.
She's
You
my
found the
soul
light,
partner.
if you will, you
And
know?
we've helped each other ever since. I love her
Absolutely.
family. I feel like they're my family. We just chill together. And what's happening in Niles is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I've lived here all my life. I'm 70 years old. And to have the first cannabis concert ever in Niles last summer, meeting you there for the first time, was fantastic. I had a great time. I mean, Niles isn't ready yet. Niles is like a little old Michigan town of old people. But
It's full of Americana. Let's put it there. There's a lot of Americana there for sure.
Up businesses, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, it's interesting because the music festival, I was there twice. You know, there was two. The second time I was hosting it, but it was put on by some great people, a lot of good people there. You know, it was a hell of a good time, and it was right next to the river, so that's kind of
right by the dam.
perfect. You know, it's kind of perfect. You know, and
it was.
The best thing that I have to say about this was the presence of police officers doing their job. Like, there was years where, like, all right, though, let's face it, I have black market and underground friends that would want to go to this thing, you know what I'm saying, purchase tickets, do it all legit, but they don't want to be, you know, pulled over or searched. Do you think you're going to be followed? It seems sketch. Dude, I'm telling you right now, the police were one of the best things, you know, about this. They were like, cool, you're good to go. There was just checking tickets. They were making sure that, you know, it was legit.
We came back and they were great to us.
Yeah.
Oh,
no problems at all.
Oh yeah. So, you know, that was one of the deciding factors where I was like, all right, I'm gonna start trusting y'all, but at the same time, I ain't trust y'all all that much. You know what I'm saying?
Same here. That's how I've been that way all my life.
Like, listen, you got those fancy bracelets. I don't want them. I don't want to wear them anymore. Yeah. Like, we're done with that. I'm 35 years old. Arrest some teenager or some shit. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? I pay my taxes. Leave me the hell alone.
There you go. Exactly.
But, you know, it sounds like you kind of walked out of the napalm tinged, you know, forest on fire that is Vietnam into, you know, this kind of light. You like found the light in a sense. You know, you talked a little bit about that. I really resonate with that because it's like, you know, we always kind of darken our thoughts and cloud our thoughts, like you were talking about with the breathing and things of like, I could do that with yoga. Ask me to do some of these bendy things, not gonna happen. I cannot even. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
The most important thing in yoga, I think.
Well, you know, and that's cool, and I like that. But we'll work on the bendy stuff. You know, that's I'm not.
Get you there, yeah.
Exactly. I'm not gonna say no, but. It's gonna be bad. Like, if you want some how to not end up pictures, let me do it and just snap them real quick, you know. But I want to talk about that though, because it seems like, you know, at one face of this story, we have, you know, a person finds the light. Then we have another person that finds another person and they walk in the light. You know, that's really gnarly to me. That really is, because it's like, yo, at the end of the day, who do we got? We got us, you know.
Exactly.
That's that type of surrogacy that can work if applied appropriately, and in this case is something iconic. Now, Meghan, I wanna ask you a little bit, if you don't mind. Where did you get the inspiration, aside from being in a dark place, if you will, to do Wrapped in Light?
Well, well, when I met Eddie, I was also on an extreme amount of cocktails from the doctor's pharmaceutical cocktails. I was diagnosed with not even just mental things, but physically a lot of, you know, start of MS and a lot of these other things. I was getting injections of fentanyl on my back at 22.
Girl,
no. You know, at 18, you know, just giving me all the Norcos I could ask for. And then it finally hit me. It was like, you know, I'm this age, like, how much further can I go?
Right.
And I remember sitting in my living room, and I would have good weeks and down weeks. I mean, it was a roller coaster. And I remember sitting down. I had two, younger daughters at the time, and looking up. You see yoga and you think, oh, the fancy poses, but it's beyond that. So I'd heard,
I
there's
was
yoga
just I
for.
was just poking fun at it.
No,
Yeah,
you're good.
you're
And
right.
that's
You're
literally
absolutely
how
right.
it would
Yeah,
seem. It seemed to me
yeah,
too. And then
yeah.
I'd heard, there's a yoga for everything.
Hmm.
So I YouTube yoga for depression,
I
and
will. I'm gonna.
I found a YouTube video. I didn't have yoga pants. I didn't have a mat. I just had, my
Right.
TV and mat. And I started there. And every day I was noticing I was having to take a little less pill than before, things like that. And then I had taken a public class, and I just knew I needed yoga. I knew that helped me every day, and then I had to do it every day to stay sane. So I
You
figured, why
created a
not
routine,
share
if
that
you
with the
will.
world?
You created a routine, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So in hand, it really had worked out. And then when Wrapped in Light came about, I still had a full-time job. I was serving I was serving food, and then still teaching on the side. And then it randomly popped. It's sometimes all about who you know.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in Niles forever. Didn't realize there was this little spot in the downtown upstairs building, and just knew the right person. And they're like, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna rent this space out." It was the middle of the pandemic. We opened up in October 2020. We were open for 3 weeks, got shut down, but fuck it, just go with it.
Right.
And we're still here.
It's I want to go back to the whole, like, there's a yoga for everything. The only yoga that I used to be good with, or look good at rather, I should say, it was Irish yoga. I would just drink until I passed out.
Oh yeah, that's me too.
That's,
I'm definitely recovering.
right. I mean, we all come from that kind of, these very dark places, if you will, in our minds. Okay, we go there. I don't know why we go there. It's like, we see, the human mind actually isn't supposed to understand negative things, yet we do.
Exactly.
We don't. What's going on, right? But it's really hard if somebody's like, "Oh, don't worry, just smile more."
Yeah.
I will smack you, like I'm not afraid, But at the same time, it's you're right. There is a yoga and a breathing for everything. To further prove my point, I will breathe different doing this, obviously, than if I were to be doing, let's say, kitchen yoga. And you know exactly what I mean. There's a breathing for that. Like, and people are like, dude, aren't you tired? Nah, man. That was just the first hour. We got 3 more of this shit. Like, you better hang on, because that ticket printer's printing your worst fucking nightmares right now. But and then you burn your hands and all, but both of you know what it's like to be battle torn and battle worn, and kind of fight against those deep dark places in our minds and stuff. So I do have a quick question though. When you do yoga, is it like, I haven't really have done yoga. I've done like stretches and stuff like that I've looked up on YouTube. Like, if I throw my back out or something, I'm old. It fucking, I don't need, you could just like look at something and somehow you break a rib. You're like, what happened? Like, no, man. Is there a breathing for like post COVID or long COVID patients?
Yes.
Okay. Do you kind of want to walk us through that real quick? Because I feel like that, like, mixed with the new information of CBD and stuff kind of helping with the lungs, I feel if we could mix those two and help something, I feel we could do that with somebody. So kind of what would we do?
I would recommend the 1-to-2 ratio breath.
Okay.
So it's a longer exhale out, but it helps, get everything flowing again. So it's where you would inhale for a count of 3.
Right.
You pause, and then exhale for a count of 6. So you're doubling the length of the exhale compared to the inhale.
That makes sense.
This just helps
that makes
create,
sense.
bigger space for the ribs, bigger space for the body, and helps just to slow you down a little bit more and be present.
And it does calm you down. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It does.
I can guarantee. I can definitely tell you, controlled breathing has helped me immensely. Because the yoga I do is called restorative yoga.
Okay.
I get in one pose and stand there for
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
That's what I like to do.
Sometimes when Meghan would teach her class, I stay in that pose the whole time and just breathe. Most of the time I go to sleep. And it took almost a year of her keeping on my butt to come, because I said, look, I'm 70 years old. I'm not going to be out here with these 20-year-old girls in yoga pants. And after a while, it didn't even faze me. It was just like they're all my sisters. They all they give me encouragement to go because of my age and what I've been through. They give me praise, and I give it back to my Meghan for staying with me.
Look what you started.
But yeah,
It's
it's
all your
definitely a
fault.
practice, just like anything else, and it takes time. You know,
Mhm.
you don't think about how the body, how blessed we really are that we just naturally breathe, and it just does it for us. But anytime, any breath is good as long as it's mindful. And you can't take a breath from the past, and you
Mhm.
can't breathe in the future. So when you focus on the breath, you're focused on the present moment. And I feel like the breath does that, and cannabis. It puts you right here, right now.
That's
And then
what
you have to think.
that's what I'd love to really see is having cannabis right next to yoga.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind smoking a joint and getting in my position and just laying out.
I want to point out more to that real quick. You know, look at this whole wine and yoga thing. There was a huge there's a yoga for winos. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all need to kind of capitalize on next. Make one for cannabis specific and just push it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yoga and mimosas definitely were one of the first things I was able to help support
Right.
the brewery that was right downtown, and we were both able to pay our rent. Even when COVID had hit, I wasn't allowed to teach in the studio, so we would do it outside.
Right.
But I'm starting to get away from just the alcohol, and bring up the things that are going to heal, which is crazy because I just got a job at a cannabis place, and
I saw that. I saw that.
Able to, mix. They're both healing things.
Yeah. Yeah. You just need to talk to the right person over there, you know, a good decision maker, which I'm sure in Niles, you're probably talking to him anyways, you know, and be like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I think. And do you want to collab? And a lot of times you're going to see, you know, a resounding yes. They're never going to tell you no. But at the same time, I would love to see that. And if I can help in any way, kind of, you know, I don't know, let me know. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to record a yoga session or something sponsored by them, and we'll help you record it and play it back and get it out there. You know, I may not be able to partake in the session, but I'll definitely watch after and try. You know, we're gonna. You know, I feel like I'm just gonna make an ass of myself is really what happens, or like I'm afraid of farting. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing.
I used to feel the same way. And after a while, I don't even know that other people are there anymore because I get in my mind. I always do some edibles or I smoke before I go to yoga, and it sets my mood. And it used to take me an hour to get comfortable. I go in there in 5 minutes and I'm comfortable. Meghan is an ideal natural teacher and healer. I mean, she's helped so many folks in Niles. She went to talk to the city council and got the yoga outside right downtown. I mean, no one's done that. And
So
we were doing it in January.
let me ask her. Let me ask her real quick. Meghan, standing where you are now in life, okay, right where you're at now, I want you to completely take a look behind where you came from and tell me how it feels.
It just gave you goosebumps. Yeah,
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really, that's my point, Ed.
Thank you.
Same thing, man.
Sometimes, I don't look.
You know.
But yeah, for sure.
I try to remind her of that as being an older man.
Right.
But yeah, it feels good, and just to see that was Eddie and I met each other 11 years ago. This January, it'll be 11 years on the 30th. And just to see, and I remember we would say, look where we were a year ago, 3 years, 5 years, and now we're at 11 years. And we would sit and be smoking in his living room and talking about what we're going to do with it. And this is what we had envisioned years ago.
You spoke it into existence is what you did.
Yeah.
We used to have
together as a team. So.
We used to have these midnight conversations that started at midnight and would last at 5, 6 o'clock every
we lived
night.
right next door to each other in a basement apartment.
Yes.
So my baby mom would preach, and I would go over to Eddie's, my husband and I, and we would just get high and just listen to each other. Yeah. We
talk about. I try to tell them, don't go where I've been.
Right.
Don't do what I've done. Stop now and get your life together, and you can enjoy it so much better. And they did it, and it's been great. I mean.
People are surprised when young adults, such, you know, I mean, I'm a little bit older, but, you know, I'm still a young adult. Like, they're surprised when you listen and you're like, well, then why would you tell me? If you didn't expect me to listen and immediately start that, then why would you tell me that? And they're like, well, I just didn't expect you. I was like, okay, you know, I'm just going to keep doing it. That, you know, or it's a good balance. You know, I hate to say that, but it's a balance. You
It is.
know, I really think, okay, first and foremost, Niles keeps popping off. Like Primitive just to open up a new store in Niles. You guys are going to have to go check it out because I can't get there just yet, but let me know what you think. You know what I mean? Definitely. At the same time, like, I hope Niles doesn't lose that like city on the river charm, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
I think that's built in. Tell you the honest truth. I mean, Niles
Yeah,
is really built around the St. Joe River.
this
I
is
mean,
true. This is
that's why
true.
we have the river run walk. People, we bring a lot of tourists into Niles just because of the river. Now we have 5 or 6 dispensaries. We have 4 or 5 grow places.
Yeah.
In 2017, I was asked by some friends to go to the city council meeting to speak on cannabis because everybody knows I've been smoking cannabis forever.
A
But
Vietnam vet smoking weed? No.
but they never seen me before because I was always stuck in the house
Right.
on pills. And once I got off that and got into the cannabis, I came out and started speaking my mind at these meetings. And I kind of hope and feel I helped change a little bit of Niles myself.
For sure.
Because the people that I talked to, they all backed me. They said, "Yeah, Eddie, we know. You know, you're from a little town. Everybody knows everyone." And they said, "We never seen you for 10 years." People I lived in the apartment complex.
Right.
I go to the pool. They say, "Who are you?"
I don't think Niles will lose.
No.
No,
charm
okay.
when it comes to cannabis. I
Oh,
think
sorry, go ahead. Sorry. Little bit of a delay there. Sorry. No. I hope it doesn't lose anything. I look at it more of as like a natural erosion of a river. You're gonna have some that erodes over time, you know, but at the same time, you can kind of watch it grow, so you can kind of guide it and know what's gonna happen, you know, and kind of move around that. And Niles does that. It's resilient as shit, you know. It literally is damn near in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? And so, it's to the point where like I don't fall asleep behind the wheel. I don't smoke when I drive. Let's not, I don't do any of that. I'm very responsible.
Good.
You know, it's drug driving still, just
Exactly.
don't do it. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
I chose not to sleep in the motel, and I actually had to pull over and get a coffee on the way home. I was tired. I was like, holy shit, because I'm in Lansing. So I'm like, I can make the drive. No, no. And I did that twice. I don't know why, but I want to I want to show people the importance, though, of not only consuming cannabis, but I want them to notice that there is different facets and communities well within the sociology of cannabis, the cultures is when in reality. Now, this next one, it's from Meghan. Meghan, before you met Ed here, so 11 years ago, things of that nature, where kind of were you in life? What were you doing? What was your Vietnam? You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. Well,
Tell me what you're drinking there.
yeah. So 11 years ago, I was wild. I was in the dark constantly. I was constantly chasing something. I'd be up for 3 days, not sleeping, and just, working at a bar. And I was 21, 21 or 22, and just a serious wreck, and very suicidal, very depressed, all over the place, and going nowhere really, really fast.
That's exactly what my life cooking was like. I would do cocaine. I do a couple of bumps here and there. Some people knew about it. Certain people knew. The people that knew. That's what I'm going to say. And following years of getting clean with that, you'll always find somebody that is doing it right behind you. So a very similar situation such as this. And so there was one person where I was like, listen, man, maybe don't do coke as much. Like, go get drunk, fine. But that's a lot better than coke. That's fine. I'll even drink with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go with you, but I won't drink. That's at least what it is. I'll get you home. Well, let's get you drunk. Stop doing blow, but at the same time, give me some blow. You know what I mean? Like, so there was a time where I had to, I guess, turn on the light in the room in order to get my fat ass up to go, to get out. But it was to the point where, like, I would be sitting in my apartment with nothing around me, drunk, kind of strung out from coke. Not able, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Got to be back to work in an hour. I haven't slept yet. You know what I mean? What am I gonna do? And you can only repeat that so many fucking times in your life before you finally wake up and go, dude, I gotta change something. I'm about to die doing this, and there was years of the same same suicidal depressive tendencies and thoughts where I was just, it's a dark place. That I call it the ick, if you will, that you go to, this very receding, timeline of things that it's slipping away into the distance now. It's slipping away into the horizon. You're on your way to this next city, but where I thought it was going to be a very, hot desert or like a very uh treacherous journey, it's really not. Like, it's really simple, and all you really just got to do is just keep smoking weed. Like, that's like the hardest thing, but it's I really like enjoy what you guys did as far as like bringing the light together, and what it sounds like is everything. And I think that's the best title ever. You can't change that. Wrapped in Light. Seriously, that pulls it together, guys. Seriously. And it really is. I may have thought of like, Christmas lights wrapped in a baseball bat, but that's just,
Well, the name came from I wrap crystals.
Okay.
Why wrapping crystals?
Yep. Lost your audio. Nope. Your audio's gone. Uh-oh. Well, just check the audio on your thing there, device. Yeah. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. But so Wrapped in Lights, LLC.com, guys. Definitely go check it out. It's located in Niles, Michigan. People, this is a great story, to be able to sit down and talk to them about it. I hope, did we get it? No? Can you hear me at all? You can't hear me at all, can you? Yeah, we lost them completely. But Wrapped in Light in Niles, Michigan, guys. Like, so the idea of this serendipitous story that, they were kind of distraught a little bit, kind of, in the same place. You have to look at it like, obviously, and, Ed was kind of the first person to go through something like that. I really get that. I dig that. I feel that. Like, like I was saying a little bit ago, I definitely have been in a spot like that. Oh, there they are. Cool. You're all right. You're welcome back.
We're back.
Welcome back. I was saying, I really, I feel, Ed's spot in this as well, because I've been in that position where I've had a younger cat come in and was like, hey, yo, blow, 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 blow. And I was just like, nah, man, take it from me, save your money, save your nose, like, shit like that. And then I've also been in, Meghan's position, that you got to grow it. And it only happens when it's supposed to happen in life, and that's the thing. Honestly, like, I hate to say this, but like, you're gonna see the lights. You're gonna see something. I'm not saying that it's like, flashing lights, or you're gonna see the signs. I don't share this with a lot of people, but I think actually I may have talked to you guys about this briefly, but numerology, I'm huge with that.
Yeah. big number person.
Yeah, it's there's a certain specific number that's always following me through my life. I see it literally in everything that I do. If I'm ever questioning, and call me crazy, but if I'm ever questioning something and I'm like, what should I fucking do right now? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I can go one of two ways. Don't get me wrong, both look fun. You know what I'm saying? Both have shiny colors and shit. But what makes sense? Well, whichever one says, this specific, number, 117 in this case, when it pops up in the order of 117 and I identify it, I'm where I'm supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? And I just let it guide me, whether that be a place of light or not, it doesn't really matter. It's working. You know what I mean? So It's like, can't argue with that. I like everything that, that Niles is becoming. I like everything that Wrapped in Light is. I like all of the dispensaries coming. Where do you guys kind of see Wrapped in Light, or see yourselves, hell, in like 5 years?
Well, this is my first year. I'm actually co-hosting a yoga teacher training too. So we're training other people to be yoga teachers. I'm working with one of my teachers, and she is like the main teacher of it, and then I'm kind of just following along. But yeah, I would love to be able to bring more teachers to help spread the light.
That's there you go. There you go. Ed, where do you see yourself, bud?
Well, like I said, I'm going to be 71 this year. I'm looking at my health more than I
Right.
have. Basically, the only exercise I ever do is walk. But I got a Harley Davidson again. So that's what I'm looking
That
for.
was a big goal, and he got it.
I had a Harley since I was 11 years old.
Oh man.
And I lost it because of drugs, alcohol.
Yeah.
I lost everything. And I was fortunate enough a friend sold me a bike a couple years ago, and I've been right back at that high ever since. And like I said, age is just a number. I smoke cannabis for two things: for my sanity and for my past. Because I can't let go of PTSD. I can't let go. My brain will not let it go.
Right.
But when I smoke cannabis, I understand where I'm at. I understand the fight. I understand the darkness and the light. If it wasn't for cannabis, I'd be dead by now. And that's the truth.
I wouldn't deny anything of like a good Gorilla Glue holding the shit show together. You know what I mean? Like that's. I really like it's dependable. It fucking works, man. You know,
it works. It definitely works for me. I've changed a few guys' minds and that are vets that were alcoholics. Good. I was an alcoholic to 85. I put down the Crown Royal, and I'm thank God that I don't have the taste for alcohol anymore. But cannabis is my life. I smoke every day. I used to smoke day and night, but most of the time now it's just at night. During the day I'll smoke a little bit, but at night it's when I really
you're sitting by yourself.
You know, right. And I don't sleep.
Yeah.
You know, I don't sleep. I sleep maybe 3 to 5 hours a night, and I've been that way since Vietnam.
Yep.
And my body is, I'm used to it, and the cannabis slows me down. I get a few hours sleep. I wake up. I eat. Take care of myself. And like I said, I don't smoke as much during the day as I used to, but at night it's on.
Sativa for the things that, you know, your sanity, and for indica for your past. I get that. You know, yeah. And Megan, correct me if I'm wrong here, you know, knowing yoga and energies and stuff. So people that suffer from PTSD and trauma such as that tend to vibrate at a different frequency. And so when you do yoga and you're breathing, that lowers your frequency, and cannabis dramatically helps with that as well. So people vibrating, it you know, everyone hurts, man. We all have a pain. Okay. We all have something that's triggering. Okay. Yeah. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. I can hear, you know, my hypersensitivity, the dark part of my mind is screaming, yeah, don't be a little bitch though. But the fact of the matter is, you know, it's triggering, it's traumatic, whatever it may be. You're going to vibrate at a lower frequency, if you will, you know, and to kind of match the frequency of your surroundings. We've known that. We walked in somebody, we're like, I don't want to talk to you, you know, or I just don't feel that vibe. Like, I don't, you know, we need to learn to pick up on that, and cannabis makes that easier, you know. At least for me, that's one of the, you know, like fucking additives, if you will. But
right,
you know, is breathing. So breathing is also a way to do it. Now, is breathing the only thing that someone can use besides, you know, doing the stretches and the poses, or is there anything else that people can do? Because I noticed Ed said he does a lot of walking.
There's absolutely more things, and I was in these things more before yoga as well.
Okay.
A lot of, I guess, if you energy work, sound vibrations can activate certain things and help to raise your vibration, and I'll put those in, you know, along during classes too. I am affirmations. I listen to those daily, but an affirmation can be bad or good. So it's usually I'll have people, you know, create your own affirmation for your practice, and that's your homework. You know, look in the mirror, say it 10 times. But if you're like, oh, you know, thinking negative all the time, your body's going to respond to that. But if you're, you know, look in the mirror, or you're driving, I am powerful. I am, you know, in my future, yeah, I'm positive. Then your body's going to pick up on that. And a lot of the stuff that I do class-wise, I went from originally being a super fast yoga teacher to now restorative low to the ground, the healing kind, and we do a lot of the activation of the parasympathetic nervous system. So it puts you in the rest and digest mode instead of the fight or flight mode that we're in so often these days.
If
So I've
somebody
learned to
tried to
try
use
to
that word
bring
on
in different
Scrabble versus
things.
me, they win. I can't. Nope.
Parasympathetic nervous system.
That has to be. You made that up.
No, no, not.
That's not.
But
a real
that's
word.
where a lot of this kind of
I'm
breathing
kidding.
comes in,
Right.
and it's where your body will send signals to your brain that you're safe, you're supported, you can rest, you can digest, you can heal. But yeah, I throw all that kind of stuff in there, and it can be nervous at first. You can pick up on the people's vibes that come there, and they're already thinking, is yoga bad?
Am I doing it right?
Is it this? And then you throw in some chakra stuff and some sound bowls. But
I'd probably do a
just to help
fast or
raise
something
you
before I
up
did
and
it.
get to the collective consciousness. So
And that's the collective consciousness is definitely something that we have learned to desensitize over the last 20 years. And it's something that we've really stepped away from. And the people that kind of understand it, like Ed, people from your generation, they don't think that. They're kind of just like, well, then, stop bitching, or there's short answers to long problems here, and I don't think that there is, listen, you can't put a temporary solution on the long problem and vice versa. I think
Right.
that's my general takeaway of what you were saying, Megan, with having different additions to, it's not just breathing, it's not just stretching, it's more to it and stuff like that. Like, I think I could probably do the restorative yoga. I do.
You could.
I think you could.
I do.
If I can do it, you could do it.
That's not why I'm saying that, but you've convinced me. Maybe it was the long Scrabble word, I don't know, but the fact is, like, I would be willing to give that a shot. Get your cameras ready, because this shit's going to be hilarious. Like, I'm not even going to try.
No,
It's just going to be awkward.
It's nothing like you're thinking.
No.
And
She's very good at putting you in place.
but sometimes the things can be the hardest. It's not the pose, because the pose is meant to be, you're going to feel supported and wrapped in a hug, but you're there for long enough that the body can let go. The hardest part about the restorative is the mind, where the mind wants to go under. And that's where the breathing will come into play. So when your mind starts to wander, you start to think about all these things you have to do, give it something to do and make the breath a game.
That terrifies me.
Now, like when I'll go to the grocery store, I'll count my breath. Like, where I'm pumping gas, I'll see how long I can breathe in for, when I'm watching the gas nozzle rise up and down. So it's just really making it a game and letting your body and your mind be in one place.
I don't know if my ADD likes anything you just said.
I know, but
I'm definitely going to give it a try.
I couldn't go to a grocery store during the day. I always had to go shopping at 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Went with this girl. After 6 months, I shop during the day now. I know what my triggers are now. I smoke cannabis before I go to a store. I smoke anytime I go anywhere, doctor's office, anywhere. I smoke cannabis first. Then I feel my triggers, and then I can deal with them. But before, I just blew up. I'd leave everything in the cart and just go home. And that's how I lived. I met Meghan. She stayed persistent with me with Wrapped in Light, and it was hard, but I stayed with it too because I could feel. I have back problems and stuff, but I started feeling relaxed. I mean, I'd leave there and go home and felt like I already smoked a couple of joints, and I hadn't, because I learned to let my mind and breathing work together. And once you do that, things work out.
That's
and it's
good
a
that
positive.
you're interested. Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is just allowing yourself to, instead of I can't do it. Yeah, maybe I can. So.
There's a lot of things. I don't ever say I can't do it. I will say that. So my mom would always, I can see her kind of hitting me right now. Can't, never, could, do nothing. Okay. And ain't a word and I ain't going to use it. Those are the two most common things my mom would tell me. And I'm like, can you come up with some different idioms? And she goes, you are an idiot. And I was like, nope, wrong takeaway. Love you, but that didn't work for you. But the point is, I don't say that I can't do it. I know I probably could. Do I have the patience? I don't know. Now you're asking a lot. You know what I mean? Now you're asking a lot.
I used to
I
sit
get
there
that.
all the time.
But at the same time, hang on, and this is where it comes back around. I feel as though if I were stoned, I would be like, yo, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if I were going to do it, I would absolutely be like, not 10 out of 10, like, I solid 8, 9, relaxed. But with that comes our friend flatulence, and so it's kind of like I would probably be mindful. So, are there anything like if we're going to the yoga, like let's say my class is in an hour or a couple hours, or it's today, okay? Let's say I don't want to eat, like there's specific like food triggers. Don't eat this and go to yoga, like beans. I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
Or like burritos.
They actually recommend yoga on an empty stomach.
Okay, there we go. All right, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
A lot of sense because
Well,
I could. Have you
or
ever
maybe just do a juice.
right
you can do something like that if you need those nutrients and stuff.
protein shake or something for the
There you
dudes?
go.
Yeah. Okay. No, I feel that because it's like, has that ever happened to anybody? Like,
Yeah.
you're just like, wait a minute, someone farted.
It happens. It happens.
People
I've kind
giggle
of
at
walked
that,
out
though.
of 2 yoga classes right in the middle. I mean, this is when I first started.
Yeah.
The whole room was filled. I just got to walk right out because
No, it happens. Sometimes people don't walk up, but you know what? It's there. It's your body. Shit happens. Like we're all human.
yep.
So,
I mean, at least you're eating good.
yeah,
That's the way I
sometimes,
look
a lot
at
of
it.
times if we're twisting or doing things like that,
Mhm.
that helps you
Loosen
really
up.
loosen up and just detox, in detoxifying poses, maybe that. But yeah, I would offer if that's a concern of yours, then just don't eat before you go.
I mean,
Or wait a couple hours.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be starving afterwards, though. If I just smoked a bunch of joints and did some yoga, we're gonna go to breakfast real quick. That's the point.
Sounds like me.
Make it a celebratory breakfast.
There we go.
That's
So
all right.
that is a good question. What is the best time for yoga, or is there just any time?
Anytime.
Oh, okay. Well,
I notice with me, especially now in this new job I'm doing, a lot of the neck and shoulders, and so definitely I'll do it. I take a good amount of time. Whatever time I have in the morning, I definitely stretch before work, and that helps to wake me up. If I feel sluggish, during, 2, 3 o'clock sluggish days, and have 5 minutes just to, stretch or do something like that. Nighttime is great if I can't sleep. So it's really depending on what your body needs that day.
I feel that.
I would suggest definitely anytime.
Do,
Anytime you can squeeze it on.
Do a lot of people
use
like they use like CBD rubs and stuff too,
Mhm.
right? Like that's a part of yoga and stuff. Like I make my own CBD rub. I have a couple of ways that I do it, either the crock pot or like my magical butter machine or something else. And I've made them for friends and family, and shea butter is what we use, with
Yeah.
that. It
Okay.
was really, really cool. And honestly, like a couple years out the kitchen, some of my scars are going away because I keep using this cream. I shit you not, and I made it myself. And I'm like, that's
That's
pretty
awesome.
sweet, and the problem is my tattoos are fading and I want more. So
I
and I'm
understand
realizing
that.
that, you know what I mean? But it's we're gonna here soon. I wouldn't be mad if I saw this. If there was tattoo ink with hemp in it, or if there's tattoo ink with whatever. And I'm digging it, man. Let's go. But are there a lot of people like what's the of your clientele of yoga, I wouldn't say users, but doers or, yoga clients, what clientele uses cannabis? All of them or just like a few or?
It's pretty. I'm really surprised. Once I get to know the students a little bit more, how many of them are open to it.
Right.
So at first, when I was doing back-to-back classes, I'd make sure they had a 15-minute break I had a group of people that would go out and then medicate and then come back in for the next part. So
You're like, I fucking knew you smoked weed. I fucking knew it.
Yeah, and whoever else, it's like if they don't, it's I'm happy to have anyone there, as long if they need to be there. But yeah, I was surprised how many, and if they don't partake, how many people are still for it.
Dude, I'm with, and that's the thing, like with how y'all met, you know what I'm saying? Two lights kind of coming together and like, this huge light mountain mass, whatever you want to call it. Like it just, it's just wrapped in light. That's the point, and bringing that together, you kind of no one's gonna diss that. If people are like, well, I'm against it, fucking why? You know what I mean? Like, are you just gonna be a Debbie Downer because you can just, you know, kick rocks if that's the case?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, we've talked about, you know, kind of following the signs, you know, following the numerology, things of that nature. We talked about like where you guys plan on going and what you plan on doing. I love that. You know what I'm saying? If somebody doesn't pull inspiration from this, I'm gonna have to punch somebody. Like that's the point. Like it's such a good, like, you know, a feel good story, and it really is. You know, and seriously, y'all, I appreciate you coming on the show and kind of letting us, you know, share that with everybody. And like, I think that if you know, if I can consider yoga, then anybody can consider yoga. I think that you know, if you know, myself and Ed here and Megan can kind of pull ourselves out of, you know, the dark places, you know, then anybody can. You know what I'm saying? I think with people that are doing the things that you're doing, Megan, you know, it's iconic. Okay, it really is. Ed, you helped with that. But at the same time, Megan, I do want you to know this is 100% unequivocally your fault. Like you're
Okay.
100% to blame here. Okay, so this is your
I
fault.
can take that.
I get this from me too. So
I can take that. But
No,
if you have a good time, I'll take that too.
exactly,
So, I mean,
exactly.
Either way.
You're not losing yet. You're not losing yet. You're like
Right,
still in
right.
the game, still in the game, and that's the point. Like the world is changing. You know, a lot of people talk about, hey, there should be some kind of change. You mean what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Like you mean what's going on right in front of us? And you can either be the change, adapt with things, you know, kind of make your own light. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Lights, colors, however you've got to look at it, definitely find something that's
exactly
worth living.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And don't make it some bullshit. Oh, I'm just going to live until the next Pokemon, you know, game comes out. That's okay, I guess. If make sure you make something past that at least. You know what I mean? Like, you know, give it something else. But I feel y'all assholes found like your thing. You know what I'm saying? And like now it's just.
Well, Eddie never had a daughter, and I never really had a dad. So
there
together,
you go.
Who knows? You know, you never know when people are going to pop in and out of your lives, and it's just to hold on to the good ones.
And it works.
Yeah.
If that doesn't bring a tear to a glass eye, I don't fucking know what would. You understand?
This old boy put tears in this old boy's eyes 3 times.
And he went to Vietnam, dude. No, that shit's I was watching it was what Hamburger Hill. I know
that was terrible.
It is, but at the same time, I understand, and I understand why. But it's a good representation from someone, my perspective of what happened, you know, or what like a you know what went on. Everything you hear, everything. It's just one of those added things, you know. And now I can truly understand, like, you know, what happens, and like. What people don't understand, you know, kind of wrapping this up a little bit is with PTSD and anything traumatic, you might come into my life and help a little bit, but one of the most traumatic things is you'll leave and you don't, I'm still here with it. You understand?
Exactly.
It's not leaving me. You know, homie, you went deep, you know, in that bag of weed of yours, and you're like, listen, just smoke weed. You know what I mean? And then
That's
that led to
true.
these midnight conversations being followed up by, you know, cups of coffee, then going to bed, if you will, or carrying. That's my point. It led to something, you know, and these conversations that you guys had, you know, that's for y'all, but you kind of spoke that shit into existence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so I can't thank you guys enough for doing that. Seriously, thank you for being you. I know it sounds kind of stupid a little bit, but it's not what I mean, and that's not what anybody means. You know, I think it's fucking amazing what you guys do, and I think that somebody, absolutely, and I think that I was really lucky to be able to get this kind of perspective from y'all, and I appreciate you guys coming on the show, man. So wrappedinlightllc.com, go check them out. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of dispensaries coming to Niles. I love what's going on in Niles. You know, they'll bend, they'll break you, but at the end of the day, they'll smoke a joint with you guys. But thanks again, Eddie, Megan, Wrapped in Light. LLC.com. Thank you guys, my tokers. Absolutely. You too. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.